B Marsh Boxing was good boxing heads and fight fans around the world. Hold up one sec, y'all. Fuck, man. One sec. Somebody calling me. Right when I'm going live. All right. Sorry about that. Got a little interruption. So, Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn is urging and telling him at Anthony Joshua he has to snap out of it and stop feeling sorry for himself. This was after Anthony Joshua apparently has admitted that he had lost a bit of passion for boxing after the Andy Ruiz Jr. defeat. What the fuck? How do you lose passion after getting such an embarrassing slacking and beaten? That don't make sense. I would have thought he would have had lost passion before he got into that fight, and thus that would be what do you call it? An excuse for him to say, "Oh, I had lost passion going into that fight. That's why I didn't perform well." No, apparently he had lost passion after getting his brains rattled and dropped four times in 7 rounds. You know what I mean? Getting beat from pillar to post. Literally, even getting dropped with a jab. Something about those UK muscle bound dudes, right? Hey man, I seen Anthony Yard get KO'd with a jab. I seen Anthony Joshua get dropped with a jab, the second knockdown in that fight versus Andy Ruiz in round three. So Eddie Hearn says Anthony Joshua needs to stop feeling sorry for himself. And this is in the midst of the build-up between Andy Ruiz and Anthony Joshua for the rematch. Supposed to happen in Saudi Arabia. So apparently, Anthony Joshua admitted he had lost a bit of passion for boxing after failing to get the fights and secure fights with mega fights with Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. That's an excuse. I'm not buying that. Andy Ruiz stops Anthony Joshua on June 1st. The rematch will be in Saudi Arabia. Um, but Joshua admitting that he lost passion for the game after losing to Andy Ruiz. That's not a good mental makeup for a champion. You know what I mean? Really and truly, if anything, he should have kept that to himself. But Eddie Hearn believes that Anthony Joshua will reveal a nasty side of himself, whatever that's supposed to mean, nasty side, in a rematch versus Andy Ruiz. I'll read you some quotes from what the man Eddie Hearn told Sky Sports. Quote, I think he's just got to snap out of it. I think he was disillusioned with the sport because he wanted to fight Deontay Wilder. He couldn't get that fight. As he said in the interview, he didn't really want to fight Andy Ruiz. But tough. Fought it, and you fought a real hungry guy. I think the great thing about this promotion is that now, for the first time next week, he looks a man in his eyes who is the only man to beat him as a professional. It's going to be absolutely huge. The whole world will stop to watch this fight. End quote. More excuses, in my opinion, on why Anthony Joshua lost. You know what I'm saying? Again, they trying to blame Deontay Wilder. And you know Eddie Hearn fanatics here on YouTube. Eddie Hearn is like the leader of their cult. You know what I mean? Anthony Joshua Matchroom supporters. Well, he's the leader of their cult because if you listen to their videos, even when they know that Eddie Hearn is telling lies, or the whole world knows, they always quick to quote. But Eddie Hearn said, Eddie Hearn said, but Eddie Hearn said, man, Eddie Hearn's a is a liar. He's a proven liar. Look at this statement talking about, oh, he couldn't get the fight with Deontay Wilder. I think he was disillusioned with the sport because he wanted the Wilder fight. Well, man, they had agreed. Wilder agreed to their 12.5 million, or was it 15 million? I think 15 million. Sent in the contracts. As soon as these people get the contracts, they're talking about, oh, the WBA has forced us to face our mandatory Povetkin, and we have 24 hours to make the fight, which they didn't make the fight for 24 hours. That shit was like a week later they announced the fight. So how disillusioned were you when Deontay Wilder had accepted your $15 million? A lot of people tend to forget that conveniently. That's why this whole article is bullshit. It's just an excuse defense mechanism to why this man Anthony Joshua got the brakes beat out of him by Andy Ruiz, talking about he didn't want to face this guy. You damn right he didn't want to face that guy the first time, man. Because that guy was actually better than Big Baby Miller. You know what I'm saying? Joshua been criticized for underestimating Andy Ruiz. You know what I'm saying? And look, that's on him. If he underestimated him, that's on him. If he wanted to play roll the dice or play Russian roulette with his three belts, he actually did. He let the man Anthony Andy Ruiz hold his belts at the press conferences. Why don't you be a bad man and say, nah, Slim, you can't hold my belts. That's out. That's like you trying to wear my Rolex. I'm gonna take my Rolex off my wrist so you could wear it. Nah, dogs, that's not what's gonna happen, man. You know what I'm saying? Um, Now Ruiz got all his belts. Eddie Hearn says, quote, he ain't going to give Ruiz no belts to hold because he don't have them anymore. End quote. I guess that's trying to pump up Anthony Joshua, trying to say that he don't have them anymore. Anthony Joshua knows that. Maybe that's a strategy to try to get the man more amped. You know what I mean? More quotes. He doesn't even want to talk to him. He wants to knock him out clean. He didn't have that feeling last time, but it's a new game now. A new game. Josh wants to take his head off. He's thinking, I've tried to be the role model. I've tried to be the guy, but people have slagged me off. And what they want to say, now I'll say something back. Now he gets criticized for calling people things, like Lennox Lewis, who has criticized him and given him slide digs his whole career. Josh can't win, so he decided, do you know what? Maybe it's a new approach. Bring back the nasty Josh. We hope the nasty Josh comes out for the Ruiz fight. End quote. So this is also kind of referring to the man Lennox Lewis. Well, if slide digs from Lennox Lewis are words like, "Hey, heck, I'd like to see the fight in Mexico, Andy Ruiz versus Anthony Joshua." If that's a slide dig, then I'm gonna leave y'all sensitive Eddie Hearn, Anthony Joshua matchroom people. You could be sensitive over there. I'll give you a blankie. You know what I'm saying? And some Kleenex tissues to comfort you. You know what I'm saying? If that's a slide dig. If it's a slide dig for the man Lennox Lewis to say Joshua should fight in the USA. I made my bones in the USA. If you